Someone please tell me where all the good men are hiding.
I went on a first date last night and I was just asking all of the basic questions like, are your parents still together? Do you have any siblings? That kind of stuff. So I asked if he had any questions for me. This man had the audacity to ask me if I had a high sex drive. That's it. I'm done. This is why I don't date men from Toronto.
No woman is gonna leave because you made a mistake. She left because you made it a habit. The truth is, she would have rather fixed things with you than start over with somebody new. And she stuck around because she was hoping you would step up and be the man she deserves. Well, you thought she would never leave and you got comfortable with disrespecting her. And look, now she's gone. Moral of the story, just because she's always been there, doesn't mean she'll always be there. Even the most loyal woman who fights to make it work will eventually get tired.
People with an anxious attachment style generally attract people with an avoidant attachment style, which fucking sucks.
Because it doesn't work.
Anxious attached people need closeness.
And like constant reassurance, right?
Reassurance, for sure. You can't just disappear and expect someone that's anxiously attached to be okay with that. And I think that that's honestly kind of fair. For people with avoidant attachments, they need that space. And so that's where you butt heads and it just doesn't work, because when the anxiously attached person is feeling distance from the avoidant, they come closer and they need more. And that's when they are approaching them with, you're making me feel like this and I really need that from you. And that actually scares the avoidant off even further. And then the anxiously attached
like
person,
a rubber band. Yeah.
The only way to retrieve an avoidant in that moment is to pull back. For anyone that deals with anxious attachment, you know how hard that is, especially when you're in a triggered state of mind.
Because you're so triggered. It's like you're not in the right state.
When someone that's anxiously attached is triggered, you need that validation and that reassurance. That's when you need reassurance. It's
Absolutely.
not like you need to be reassured every 5 fucking seconds.
It's when they start acting dismissive. And
yeah, it's when they pull back. When they pull back, you want to cling to them, but really the only way to combat an avoidant as an anxiously attached person is to give them their space and pull back even further. Like, oh, you want your space? Here, take a mile of it.
My friends?
Just go. Have you noticed that I don't like care anymore?
I actually have noticed that, and it's pissing me off. Why doesn't you care
That's
anymore?
that's why you're trying to get a rise out of me.
Yeah, you don't care at all anymore. I used to like hide my phone. Now she comes over and it's just like girls' asses clapping on Instagram. And she's like, girl power, love it. She just doesn't care. So are you having an affair? That's the question.
No, I don't want to be bothered.
You're at that point of the relationship where you just don't even care.
She just gave him such a big clue, and it just like went over his head. So clearly he used to do a lot of things that would bother her, and she got to the point to where it had hurt her so many times to where she just had to emotionally detach herself from the situation because she doesn't want to feel bothered about it anymore. And obviously he wasn't stopping whatever he was doing. This is what people do when they have to self-preserve and protect themselves. It's either leave or stop caring. And a lot of the times when people stop caring, they end up leaving. And he's making jokes about it and laughing and saying, oh yeah, I always have girls' asses clapping on my Instagram feed. And she used to care, now she doesn't. Clueless, absolutely clueless. And then people are blindsided when the partner that has had enough leaves. Like, well, I didn't see it coming. Well, that shocked me. They'll say, oh, there were no signs. Those are the signs. Those are big, huge billboards.
We live in a culture that men think that they can date you for as long as they want with no commitment, no intention, no vision, and no end in sight. Why are we dating for no reason? You are not meant to become so emotionally attached to people. You are not supposed to feel like you're married to someone without being married. It doesn't make any sense. Do not listen to what the world is telling you, that you can just date just to date because you're young and you don't know what you want yet. Like, that's garbage. If you're not ready to get married, you shouldn't be dating. I want you to understand that anybody you date has to be so intentional in pursuing you. You are not a placeholder. You are not a fill-in for somebody's loneliness or for their lack of whatever they're missing in their life. That is not your place. You are not there to fill somebody's needs and voids and then to be discarded later. And it happens all the time. And if it happened to you, it is not your fault. But we have got to play our part. We can't control what other people do, but we can play a part in who we choose to date, and they have to be good people who want to pursue purity with you.
The reason why so many people are single and not in a relationship today is because we're looking for 90s love in a 2025 hookup culture. And that's what it is. That is truly what it is these days. So don't be disappointed because you're single. We're just in the wrong generation.
Are you guys in a relationship?
Yeah. No.
Oh.
Okay, we're
you say yeah, you say no.
We are not in a relationship. No. Okay, I guess we're not.
Miscommunication here.
No, perfect communication. He's actually just an acquaintance. I only recently met him 2 weeks ago.
It was love at first sight, but she's shy. She needs time to build into it. That's what I think.
No, I don't.
Why does the friend zone exist?
For losers who are meant to be there.
Would you say he's in the friend zone?
Yes, I do have a boyfriend.
Oh, you do have a boyfriend?
Yes, not him.
Just because there's a goalie doesn't mean he can't score, right?
Touched on this topic before, but hookup culture in college is literally so toxic, and it's one of those things that I feel like not even our parents' generation understands, because there was no technology, there was no dating apps, and it's just gotten so much more complicated. And honestly, thankful I'm not single anymore, because just some of the stuff people go through is just insane. Also, I swear it's become a trend or a cool thing to not want to settle down. At least for me in high school and early college, honestly, it was a flex if you weren't the relationship type. It's just how it was. If you were cool, you weren't in a relationship. Because that was kind of frowned down upon. And I think it starts to change when you're a senior in college. I'd say now I know so many more people in relationships than my freshman year of college or even high school. I'm so glad I'm growing out of that culture, because that was never me. And it was hard.
Because hookup culture benefits guys more than it will ever benefit girls. So some people are going to disagree with me, but let me explain. For starters, we knew that guys mainly just want sex. They rarely want commitment, but will do practically anything to get laid. Whereas girls were not super horn dogs. Some of us are, but not to that extreme. Y'all want to hook up equally and with no commitment, whatever. You do you, live your life. I'm not judging. The problem is that guys tend to lead girls on because they want to keep getting what they want, which is a hookup. And then girls are painted out to be clingy or obsessive or psycho because they catch feelings, but realistically it should be understandable to catch feelings when you're doing something so intimate instead of just being painted out as crazy. Now, what do girls even gain from it? Honestly, 5 minutes of faking it and not finishing 99% of the time, I really don't think I'm missing out.
Struggling to commit to a relationship? Try hookup culture. Now I can treat people like tissues, use them up and throw them away. Why stick around for even the tiniest problems if the next person is just one swipe away? With hookup culture, I get to miss out on meaningful relationships for 1 hour of pleasure. Except the pleasure part is most of the time a lie. But hey, at least it keeps my bedroom clean. Oh, what am I reading? Modern dating is fun and other funny jokes you can tell. Hookup culture is truly the hottest new trend in my generation. And if you get it today, you can also get shallow interaction, soulless connections, feeling empty inside. And if you're lucky, hashtag dying alone. And don't forget situationships. With hookup culture, I get a free 99 one-way ticket to the lowest point of my life. So what are you waiting for? Start wasting your time and energy on hookup culture today.
We don't date people, we date avatars of success that we represent like trophies to our peers. You're not looking for a boyfriend, you're looking for a 6'2" guy, blue eyes, beautiful hair, nice career, who's attractive to many women, only somehow loves you. And men don't look for a girlfriend, they look for a beautiful maid who has the face of an angel, the body of an Aphrodite, who he can enjoy whenever he wants and is only loyal to him. Humans don't want to be in a relationship with another human. Humans want to be in a relationship with ideals. That is insane.
Alright, here's the top 3 reasons why you should hook up on the first date. Number 1, because you want to. There's nothing wrong with 2 consenting adults getting down right after you get to know each other. I think that's awesome. If you both want to do it, get after it. Have fun. Number 2, it weeds out the bad ones real quick. Sometimes we go on dates, we're like, okay, this is like all right. Maybe the conversation's a little like meh, but they seem pretty cool. Then you go home, you hook up, and you're like, oh Lord, that was terrible. Rather than waiting another like, I don't know, week, 2 weeks, months, now you're not wasting your time. And number 3, shows you how compatible you are. If you are not physically compatible, it doesn't matter how good the conversations, the shared interests, etc., you're going to have a really hard time building a relationship. So the sooner you find that out, the sooner you can move on. All right, tell me what you think. Make sure you like, comment, share it with your friends. Tell me, would you add to this list? What was I missing? What did I get wrong? I'm sure someone's going to say I got this all wrong, but that's fine. I want to know your thoughts. Tell me more.
If someone is totally toxic and they're bothering your mental well-being, you can take a step back, no problem. It has happened from the time of the Prophet ﷺ all the way to now, and it will continue happening. Someone really toxic, your mental well-being is affected, even if they're closely related to you, in a beautiful way, without being abusive or without being vulgar, without being disrespectful, you can take a comfortable step back. Why? Because you need to protect your sanity and your peace. But you are told to try your best, try again and try again. There is blessing in the trial even if the problem is not solved. Have a big heart. Life is too short to have a small heart. Have a big heart and learn to resolve matters. When you train yourself to solve problems and you train yourself to keep trying and trying, Allah opens many, many doors, the barakah, the blessings, the sustenance, so much comes to you and you don't realize it's because I tried very hard to do things for the sake of Allah, knowing that this was not going to happen. Sometimes we know this is very impossible. But in Allah's eyes, even if it was impossible, let me give you a quick example. The prophet that is mentioned the most in the Quran is Prophet Musa alayhi salam, Moses, may peace be on him. His whole mission, if it was now, the kids would have said it's a waste of time. You know why? Astaghfirullah. Because they don't understand. How can someone who knows that the person whom he is sending the messenger to is not going to accept the message, but he still sent him to the guy?
Nobody wants to date me. I want to date you. I find you really attractive and I think that we should go out. Go away.
So come on, baby, won't you show some class? Why do you have to move so fast? We don't have to take our clothes off to have a good time. Oh no.
Somebody asked me how I don't feel bad about being abstinent when like guys are taking me out on dates because they always feel guilty about not putting out if a guy's paying for dates. When I tell you the greatest myth ever perpetuated in the history of this fucking universe, babes, is that a man is entitled to your body because he bought you some fucking pasta, a glass of red wine and a pasta. What? Let's think about that quickly. A man buys you an arepa and a fucking margarita, and now he gets to sleep with you. That's it. You don't want to do it. You feel uncomfortable, but because he bought that damn taco, you gotta give him yours. Be fucking for real. I'm no business major, but that seems like the most unequal exchange of goods ever. I don't care if the dinner was $500. Is that how much your pum pum costs? No. So I feel like a lot of people are just forgetting what a date actually is. This is why when I say, oh yeah, I'm going on dates with these guys, oh my God, you're sleeping with all these guys, it's so crazy. No, bitch, what do you mean? That's not what a date is. Now we have this idea that, oh, you need to kiss on the first date, you need to sleep with them on the first date. Where did that come from? A date is a man asking you out. The understanding is that he's paying for it and you're not getting anything guaranteed in return. If I choose to do that with you because I just feel so inclined, then sure. But that's just a given that I'm going to sleep with you because you bought me some ramen. Absolutely not. Like if he started going off on you and your mother and calling you guys ugly bitches in the middle of the date, do you still feel like you owe him the rest of your time on that date just because he's gonna pay the tab? No, you would get out of there. Don't let the fact that he's paying for the dinner that he asked you to go to factor into what you feel like you owe him or need to do or what he deserves even. If a guy you're going out with makes you feel that way, he is one, either an entitled asshole and you need to run, or two, he's too broke to be courting someone, because you have to understand that you gotta have a slower burn than that. Like, what do you mean? You think I'm about to be doing cartwheels on the... Because you bought me a veal schnitzel? We're not going veal for vagina here, brother. There are actually women that these men can go to if they want a guaranteed return on their measly little investment in a fucking spicy vodka rigatoni. They're called sex workers, and not a single one of them will tell you, yeah, well, actually, instead of like cash, I do accept French 75s. You can buy me like 2 at the bar and I'll render my services. That's not how that fucking works. I promise you, the more that you go out and just focus on enjoying the date, focus on getting to know the guy, letting him get to know you without feeling any pressure to do anything beyond what you want to, the more enjoyment you'll find in dating, and also the more confidence you'll have to enforce whatever boundaries you want to set for yourself. And I don't care what literally anyone thinks about it, you go at whatever pace you feel comfortable with, and if the man that you're seeing is not with that, then girl, he's not with you. Drop his ass.
I don't think there's anything wrong with hooking up. I just think the hookup culture itself is being done wrong, and it's what the culture is rooted in, because there's nothing casual about sharing body, skin, and fluids and whatever else you can think of underneath the sun with anyone, let alone a stranger, but with anyone in general. There's nothing. And I think we have disregarded that act of sex itself and what it's been rooted in historically. It has spiritual ties. It's a sacred act. People use it to literally transmute, to heal, to shift things, to transcend. It is nothing casual about that. And I'm talking about someone too from experience. There's nothing casual about it. Absolutely not. I think society has built people to, and has taught people to approach sex with this lack mentality, lacking intention, lacking integrity, emotionless and meaningless and careless. This is why I've witnessed people being mad that I am wanting to talk about boundaries prior to even engaging. Am I not supposed to know what you want to do and if I even like what you're about to do to me? Or I'm supposed to just figure it out in the moment to have like a shock factor go on, and now I'm traumatized. And this is why people, I feel like, end up in situations where now they feel like they either need to take space or time to heal from it. Instead of, you can have an intimate act with someone. It don't have to go anywhere. There don't need to be a platonic connection formed. There don't need to be a relationship. You don't have to get married or whatever the case may be. But you end up learning and getting closer to yourself. And when you approach it with the intentionality and integrity, you take something away from it, whether it's fleeting or a connection does come about and blossom, but you're able to see, oh, this is how I like engaging in it. This is my pleasures now. This is my desires. Oh, I actually do have kinks. I actually do have little things that I like in the bedroom. Instead of realizing what you don't like, and now you have something that you need to heal and transmute from. And this is why people be engaging in it, and then they end up trying to figure out why their life is going downhill after it. Case closed.